Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. I hope you can hear me clear. Welcome to our first chapter of Open Door webinar series. We'll be hosting this every week, as Tanuski mentioned, and the whole objective is to share knowledge among all user countries in the Pacific. So as Zanuski mentioned, there are countries who have been using ASYCUDA for a long time, and there are few countries who recently started using ASYCUDA. I see Tibita Lawani is up. Tibita, you want to say something?
I'm sorry, there was an accident.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Tibita, if you can mute your mic, please. Okay, so basically what we are going to do today is we are going to talk about XML Manifest. This is based on number of tickets we received in our ITS system, and we realized that there are a lot of countries who are trying to implement XML Manifest. And we were also approached by a few shipping lines requesting support on implementation of the XML Manifest. So I have few slides, and I'll go through the slides, and then I'll have my colleague Rizwan giving a live demo. David Tonga, Team Tonga, can you your mic? Thank you. So this presentation will be supported by Rizwan from Palau, and also Stanley from Vanuatu has kindly agreed to share their experience on using the XML Manifest. So we'll quickly go through the slides, and then I'll invite other colleagues to participate. Feel free to ask any questions you may have. We have a last slide. I think we have allocated some time to discuss on the questions that you may have. So as you all know, we have a ASYCUDA Manifest module that deals with the manifest, and we are familiar with the manifest. Basically, it's a reporting of the goods arriving into country, quantity, weight, and destination. So this information is actually coming from the shipping agent to customs. And what is common in all countries is the shipping agents are manually capturing the data into a ASYCUDA system. The objective here is to reduce, save some time, and use electronic data interchange facility that is available in ASYCUDA. And by end of when we do that, we will kind of establish electronic communication between trade operators and customs. So basically, this is beneficial to trade operators, the carriers, the shipping agents. In customs, we mostly hear from freight forwarders, the shipping agents, that they are spending a lot of time and resource retyping the data in ASYCUDA. So ASYCUDA has this XML Manifest integration facility that allows operators to integrate data from their system into ASYCUDA. Now, how it is done is very simple. Today, most of the technology that is available and used by the carriers or the freight forwarders or the shipping lines or even airlines, the modern technology allows exchange of data between systems. The technology has that options. So the printouts that we get and what we see is actually a printout coming from their system. It's not a manual document, it's a printout from a system, a CPER system. So what we do in XML Manifest is we work with the carrier, give them a format, which we call XML Manifest format, and the CPER then develops a kind of a tag-based document, which we call XML. And we share that XML format with the shipping agent. In fact, that format is already available in ASYCUDA in all the countries. So most of the time, what we see is what we have seen is a question coming from countries asking who is responsible to develop or prepare the XML manifest. Is it a customs? Is it UNCTAD? Is it a carrier? At some point of time, we were also, some countries approached us to say, can you develop the XML manifest for the shipping line XYZ? So it is very important to understand that the manifest is a CPER's document. That's why they print out and bring it to customs. So with the XML manifest, what we are trying to do is convert that paper document into an electronic document. So the responsibility of developing XML manifest goes to the carrier or the freight forwarder. It can be done both ways. So any carrier that has a system to print manifest, or any freight forwarder who has a system to degroupage the console cargo, can actually make an XML file and load it into ASYCUDA. So it should be very clear that the responsibility of developing XML message is with the carrier or the freight forwarder. So what is the role of UNCTAD and what is the role of customs ASYCUDA team? So that's where actually we play a role to facilitate this process. With the help of UNCTAD, our office, we work with the customs ASYCUDA team and provide them with the structure of the XML file, which we call manifest schema. And then we provide guidance on how to use it. Then the responsibility goes back to customs. The national team will have to prepare their national configuration and reference data. So when I say reference data, I believe all of you are familiar with the reference data in ASYCUDA, the office code, the location code, the location of goods, the carriers, the companies, the mode of transport. So those documents has to be prepared. We have a template we can share with you if you haven't got one already. But I think we have already shared with most of the countries in the PESA Plus and also in the countries that the project is active now. And I'm sure ASMP already have seen those templates. If not, don't hesitate to contact us. We'll share you the template. Now, if you look at the structure of the manifest that we talk about, basically it's a tag paired syntax, which is equivalent of what you see in ASYCUDA screen. So you will see the same information, like the manifest has a general segment, it has a bill of lading, or it could be airway bill. So as you see on the right side here, you'll see the XML syntax. This is a sample that says the general segment will be represented like this. The bill of lading, the BL segment will be represented like this. And you can see it's a human readable format. Actually, if you open with any editor, including Notepad, you can actually go through the syntax and see the customs office code is this, what is the voyage number, the date of departure, etc., etc. So this is the structure that is required to be developed by the carrier, the shipper. And what we call in ASYCUDA this as a AWMDS. AW means ASYCUDA, and MDS stands for Manifest Data Stream. And as you see, XSD is actually a format, just to say this is the format of the data. XML schema definition by definition. That's what we call. So if you look at here on this page, you can see this page is continuation of the previous page. Here you will see. Let me go back. You can see that second line here is the general segment, and in the general segment you can see the identification segment, which is composed of office code, arrival dates, and departure dates. Then you can see the total segment, which is total number of bills on the manifest, total gross mass and net mass, etc. Place of loading, unloading, and then you will see the general segment tag is closed here. So that means this is your first page of the manifest that you see in ASYCUDA client interface. This is followed by a bill of lading. So you will see here, you can see the BOL segment highlighted in purple, and it is the information that you see in the bill of lading. So this is the BL number, BOL, represented by BOL reference tag. Likewise, if you can go through this and you will see the consignee, the notified party, that composes the trader segment. More information on bill of lading you'll see is the container details. So you can see how the container segment is represented. The goods segment is represented with the goods tag. So basically, the XML tags are actually representation of the data element that you see in AW client. And the naming conventions are same as you see in the visual document in ASYCUDA client. The design of the XML manifest varies from country to country. And this is because the reference tables in each country is different. The reference table is unique to each country. And the configuration of the manifest data requirement, for example, length of a particular field, is different in each country. So recently we had an experience of one of the shipping company, I think, who has been submitting XML manifest to Fiji customs. Use the same template to generate XML message for other countries in the region, and they came back to us saying, oh, it's not working. So the reason now is we advise them that each country's XML file is unique, and this has to be communicated to the carriers when you work with them in development of the message. One of the main thing when you develop the XML message is management of the reference tables. How do we share the reference tables? For example, office code. In the beginning, you may have two automated office, and your reference table will only say Office 1 and Office 2. Maybe like, and for example, you automated a next office, a new office. In that case, there will be an update to the office code. You will have to find a way to communicate with the shipping agent and update them with the reference tables. The main reason this requires a manual intervention is because this is not system-to-system interface. What we are doing with the XML manifest is we are pulling out data from shipper's system, like we download it in Excel format or like we download it in a Word, PDF format. We are just changing a format to XML. So the data is represented in an XML format. So we are downloading that file, and this file is manually uploaded into the system. If any adjustment is required, once it is uploaded, it can be adjusted. And this should not be confused with system-to-system interface. Systems are not talking here. It's the whole intention of XML manifest is to avoid retyping of the manifest and bill of lading information into ASYCUDA. So in general, this is about XML manifest. Before we go to a demo session, which my colleague Rizwan will show you how it is done in ASYCUDA screen. He will have a sample XML manifest ready, prepared, and he will show you how to integrate it. And if you get error, how to fix it. That's how generally he will show you how to load the XML file into ASYCUDA. Rizwan, are you there?
Yes, Rajesh, thank you.
So if you are ready to give a demo, we can proceed with the demo and then come back to question and answer session.
All right.
All right, thank you. Over to you, Rizwan.
Okay, please confirm if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see. Rizwan.
Okay, thank you, Rajesh, for this. Before I begin, I'd just like to mention one more benefit of having this XML manifest integrated into ASYCUDA. In addition to the benefit to the carriers, the customs and other government agencies who actually do risk profiling and risk management, they also benefit from this in the sense that they are able to get this manifest data way in advance. So they are able to actually do profiling and targeting even before the cargo arrives at the destination port. So this helps the targeting or the risk management team to do the risk profiling and clear consignments without, or basically trade facilitation, improve trade facilitation. I would like to share one more example for Fiji. So in Fiji, there's a shipping company. They actually used to key in the manifest data manually. So when we introduced the XML integration into ASYCUDA, they were able to cut down the input from days to minutes, even hours. So that's how fast it is to actually integrate or use the XML manifest integration into ASYCUDA. So this a real life scenario that has been used, or the company has been using now. Okay, I will do a demo of how this XML works in ASYCUDA, and if you have any questions, please put it on the chat, and I'll try to answer as much questions as possible. Before I begin, so this is what the XML file looks like. So Rajesh showed you on the PowerPoint. So this is the actual XML file, which needs to be generated by the carrier or the freight forwarder. So there's two options to upload. One is the full cargo, where the carrier uploads everything, and the other one is a degroupage. So you see there's two, there's full cargo and there's a degroupage. The degroupage is where the freight forwarder enters the XML. I'll show you both and how it works in ASYCUDA. Okay, So under the cargo manifest folder, you will have data management, manual capture, and then you will have XML integration. So full cargo and degroupage. You don't have to worry about co-loader IATA, but the one that we are using is full cargo and degroupage. So the full cargo is for the carrier, where they upload the entire cargo details. Once you right click, you'll see full cargo integration. And you'll see this window. So it's very simple. You need to select the XML that has already been prepared by the carrier. Look for it. So you must have saved it in your computer somewhere. Do a search and select that XML. So we'll select the full cargo. Once it is selected, there's two options. So there's a check mark and there's a diamond. You'll need to first check the XML content. What it does, it looks through the XML file and then it sees whether everything is in order or not. And if there is any error, there will be a message just like this one, and you will be able to actually generate the PDF file, and it will show the error that has been populated. So in this case, it says that this manifest already exists. So we can go back and basically fix that error. So let's close this. Okay. So let's change the voyage number. As you know, that three fields are the key. So the office number, the voyage number, and the date of departure are key fields for the manifest. Let's change it to 3. Now let me change something else here so I can show you more errors. So let's say the bill type from MBL, I put MBA. Okay. Some countries, they have MBA, for example. So if I put that and I try to upload that in the XML integration feature, and then I check the contents, it will again show me some error. So if I generate the PDF file, it will show me where the error is. Okay. So line 43, bill, this is the bill number, bill type code MBA. So value not present in reference table. So Rajesh was talking about the reference table, and each country has its unique reference table. So the customs team, the ASYCUDA team needs to provide the correct or accurate reference tables to the carrier so that they are able to generate or put in the correct values while generating the XML file. So if you look at line 43 in the XML, line 43 here, okay? So it will actually pinpoint where the error lies, and it will help the carrier or whoever is uploading this, it will help them to actually troubleshoot the error and correct it. So let me correct that. Sorry, what was that? Okay, MBL. Okay. Let's go and upload again and check. Now, if everything is correct, then the system will automatically pick up all the relevant data. And as you can see, this information is pre-filled. Now, the office, voyage number, date of departure, package, and all the container and the weight. So that means the XML is correct, and you can check this to submit. So once you check, you'll receive this message, integration successful. It does not mean that it has been submitted to customs. It is still in the stored level. So the carrier can always go back and do modifications to that. So if you scroll back to the general segment and do a search, you'll see that this particular manifest has now been submitted or stored. So if you see details, it is at the stored status. And let's view the contents of that. Okay, so as you can see, all the contents, all the values which was in the XML, it has been populated in the e-document in ASYCUDA together with the relevant bills. So in this case, there were 2 master bills, and it has been stored as well. Now that's for the carrier. Now let's go on to the freight forwarder. So for example, the freight forwarder has some bills which are needed to be loaded in this master, under this master. So another first master, right? So I have prepared XML for that as well. Let me change the, so you need to have the same office, voyage, and departure date as the master, which has been uploaded already. Okay. So same way, let me go to the document library. So in this case now, you'll not use full cargo, but you'll use degroupage. So this is for the freight forwarder. So degroupage integration, same window, search for the file and check. So if you have any errors, again, it will prompt for the errors, and you can check the PDF document for whatever errors that it has prompted and fix it. But if everything is correct, then you'll see that the information is filled up. And once you check, it will say integration successful, and you will see that, let me see, you'll see now, under this bill, under this master bill, now you have 2 house bills. Before it was just the master, now you have 2 house bills. And then again, as I said, this is in stored status. The carrier or the freight forwarder can always go back and do the changes until they validate and register the manifest. That's all on the integration of the XML manifest and how you can use the use that in the ASYCUDA system. If you have any questions, please let me know or let Rajesh know. We'll be happy to answer those.
Thank you, Rizwan. I think that was very to the point, and very effectively you highlighted how it saves time and also improves the quality of data that is captured in ASYCUDA. And when it is manually typed, it is always subject to human errors. And when it comes to the manifest data, customs is very sensitive to the modification, as it attracts a number of penalties and brings other kind of risk to countries. I think we have very similar to what Rizwan demonstrated. We also have our colleague, our friend from Vanuatu, Stanley, who has kindly volunteered to present few slides and share us his experience of Vanuatu using the degroupage facility. So Stanley, are you there? We cannot hear you.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Oh, perfect. Okay, well, just quickly, if I could just share my screen. Just wondering if you could see my screen.
Yes, Stanley, we can see your screen.
All right, thank you. All right. So thank you, Rizwan and ASMP, for the invitation for us to well to follow this WanTok webinar, and also to share our experience. And today is a public holiday in Vanuatu, so that's why I'm wearing my Chiefs jersey. And also because it's a public holiday, I forgot my laptop, and I'll go through this PDF file that I actually sent. So it's not the actual PowerPoint. So hopefully it will flow. So I think a lot of the stuff has already been mentioned by Rizwan and Rajesh, but it's interesting that we were invited to share experience, because we don't actually have that any shipping agent who's submitting XML manifest at the moment. But anyway, we'll share our journey, and hopefully some of you can relate to it. So like I mentioned, we don't have any shipping agent who's currently submitting XML manifest, but we've had the THL who's been submitting the two groupage, like Rizwan just showed us, since 2018. So we had ASYCUDA World went live in 2017 in Vanuatu, and THL started doing the XML groupage since 2018. But since the end of last year, we have two shipping lines who are very serious in doing the full cargo integration. So we've been working with them since the end of last year. So just going through my PDF. So I'll just touch on the advantages, which Rizwan and Rajesh, have already mentioned. But I'd like to mention this because this could be a selling point. Some selling points you could give to your freight forwarder or shipping agent, because they have to do some work on their end to able to translate these XML files to be readable in ASYCUDA, right? So the obvious selling points would be, this would save them time, like we've heard, avoid the errors, and avoid customs penalties, right? Because customs get penalized if there's an error in the manifest or the bills. And it's efficient customer service, because it means the manifest is uploaded in time and brokers can start doing their clearance. And great leverage for business success for the businesses. And I mean, stuff like, they don't have to hire too many people to sit and do the data entry. They can allocate them to some other useful work in the operation. So this could be selling points that you could give to the freight forwarder and the shipping agent to get them on board and do some work in translating this the manifest to what's readable in ASYCUDA. From the customs front, so obviously you have to have some legal provision in place to get the shipping agents and the freight forwarders on board. So for Vanuatu, it says here that manifest to be provided in customs in a form and manner that has been approved by the director. So the form is obviously the standard ASYCUDA format, the international format that we have in ASYCUDA. So this is the form, if you like. The manner is, they can either do it manually to capture the manifest or the consolidated bills, or they can do what we're talking about here is XML integration. And also maybe sometime down the line is, to interface the systems, which obviously, it probably requires a bit more work and, great services and all that for systems to talk to each other. And but so the point here is that now what we're talking about is we should insist, or customs should insist on this XML integration. So unfortunately, for 102, the customs they're still being lenient, so they're not enforcing this. If I had my way, I would insist on getting the shipping agents, giving them deadlines and freight forwarders to make sure they do XML integration. And from a customs perspective, there's a risk involved, if you like, when we do manual capturing, because someone can tamper with XML or typing it into ASYCUDA, whereas you can eliminate some of this risk if you do XML integration, right? Or ultimately, maybe somewhere in the future, we have this system talking directly to ASYCUDA to avoid someone tampering with the data. So the approach, and we've heard Rajesh mentioning this, there's a documentation in place which has all the schema and stuff like that, that we have to share with the shipping agent, so that they shared with the system support people, right? So that they can work on this. Now, from our experience with the freight forwarder that is already on board, and the 2 shipping agent that we're working with, we don't even get involved with all this, what Rizwan's been showing us, all this XML. We don't even get involved with that. We leave it to the system support for the shipping agent to do this. So they do all the mapping, the tagging, or what they do to make sure that the XML is can be readable in ASYCUDA. And then, like we've heard, we provide the relevant ASYCUDA reference table. So that's just going to our database, downloading it, and then sharing it with them. So it's there. Most of it hasn't been changed for a while. But if there's anything new, we have to provide the updated reference tables. And then, like Rajesh mentioned, we give them the access to our test server, the client access. So they can log in and they test this thing leisurely without having to bother us. Only when they're ready, then we give them access to the live server to go live. So I think that's our approach. As you can see, it's not much because we haven't got any shipping agent on board. But even this week, as I speak, we're still working with the shipping agent. They came up with these errors, and then we consult, but they have all the reference tables, so they just need to do all the mapping on their end, and then make sure the XML is readable in ASYCUDA. So that's all from me. Thank you, Thomas. Just let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Stanley. That was a good presentation. Thank you for sharing your Vanuatu experience. And I would like to reiterate the thing that you mentioned in your presentation. The XML manifest submission is optional thing for customs. So as we automate and modernize customs, the customs team need to socialize this XML integration feature with the private sector, the shipping agents and the freight forwarders. At their end, from our experience, what we see is generally the XML is a big document. We are talking about hundreds of containers on a ship. We are talking about hundreds of bills. So when we say that much of work or data element to be captured in ASYCUDA, it is a time-consuming work. And generally, the bigger shipping lines, they have 4, 5, 6 people employed to capture that information in ASYCUDA on timely basis. And the problem that we see is we see human errors. which is typo, choosing a wrong bills. For example, when you choose from a ASYCUDA drop-down list a house bill and MBL, HBL code or MBL code, you might end up clicking a wrong one, and then when you say a house bill, declare a master bill as a house bill, it's a big thing for customs, but for a computer user, it's just a typo. So to avoid those kind of issues, we have to encourage development of the XML message. I think we have Tivita on the screen, on the spotlight. You may want to say something, Tivita.
Thank you, Rajesh, and Mbulawanak, everyone. Thank you, Stanley, for your presentation. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear T.
Yes, okay. And maybe just to add to what Stanley said with regards to the XML integration. One of the work that we're currently doing here with under the PESA Plus program is in partnership with Williams and Goslin here. So now Williams and Goslin sends the XML file directly to Tuvalu and Kiribati, and that file is in a stored state. So it's the agent in Tuvalu that registers the manifest. So the manifest directly goes from here to Tuvalu, from the agent here, access directly to the ASYCUDA system, but it's in a stored state. This is because, as you know, it has to go in stored because they're not legally mandated to be able to register the manifest. So if there's any other amendments, it's the local agent that has to do them. And then again, the time it takes for the ship to go from here. But in light of what everybody is saying, this is a more expedited way of moving manifest across. And thank you, Stanley. Thank you, everyone, for highlighting some of the things that we're doing. And this work continues will happen, and it'll shape the movement of cargo around the Pacific. Yeah? And Stanley, I like the T-shirt that you're wearing. Go Chiefs this weekend. Thank you, everyone.
You're the man to feed them. You're on mute, Rajesh.
Can hear.
Okay.
Can hear.
Okay, thank you, Stanley. We have a question from FSM, and in the Q&A section, I decided to read the question loud so everyone can answer, and I think many of you would relate with this. The question is, for FSM, we do not have carriers physically stationed in our country. So what we have are shipping agents. They are not the masters or the experts of the system. So my question is, what capability or responsibility do their systems need to have in order for them to be able to use XML integration option? So this question may sound familiar to everyone in this webinar. The carriers may not be physically stationed in a country, but usually what they have is their representative, what we, in more common words, we call agents. So an agent may be representing XYZ shipping line for that particular country. So the contact point to start working on the XML manifest is shipping agent. So you communicate to shipping agent and show them how it works. Then the shipping agent will liaise with the shipping lines and share the XML file, the schema, and they will then develop the XML message. So to put it in a simple words, what you need to understand is the shipping line is sending PDF to shipping agent in a country. So likewise, what XML integration option allows you is to send an XML file instead of a PDF file. So you have a PDF, that's why you are typing it. But if it is in XML format, you can load it like you saw in the demonstration. So to be more specific for FSM, you need to start talking with the shipping agent and say, this is the format that we have, and we would like you to develop an XML message. And many of the shipping lines operating in the region are familiar with ASYCUDA system. Either they are typing it or they're already submitting an XML message. So this is how you will start. Hope that makes it clear. Any more questions?
Just you can see there's a further comment in the Q&A.
Okay, there is a comment. For example, the XML has been accidentally submitted. Can it be modified? Okay, so this is the XML you saw during the demo. The XML file was manually uploaded into the system, and it went through a two-step process where you check and then store it, integrate it into the system. When there are different scenarios in Manifest. Either you capture it manually, type it, or load it by XML. The modification process remains the same. So even it is accidentally submitted, I think you are referring to stored status. If it is stored status, it can be modified. But again, there are certain limitations. So when you prepare XML manifest, I think you go through the test procedure and you develop a process map, how you submit XML manifest in the test environment. When you do that, then you have to come up with the process diagram and say what is allowed to modify, what is not allowed to modify. Again, that relates with the customs policy, what modification on the manifest is allowed. Some countries allow a lot of modification, and some countries do not allow modification once vessel arrives into the country's water. Thank you. Stanley, you wanted to say something? I saw your hands was up.
Thanks, Rajesh. I clicked accidentally, but anyway, just quickly with the earlier question about shipping lines and all that. Yes, in Vanuatu, we only have one of the principal carrier is here in the country, so we work with them. But the others, they go to the shipping agent, and the company is somewhere in Australia, and they work on the XMLs there. We communicate to them remotely. And just quickly on the modification, like you said, when you upload, obviously it's still in a stored state. So, it can be modified. And if they proceed in registering it, then it becomes just the normal, as if they typed it in the first place, where you go through the normal process of modification through customs. Sorry, thanks.
Okay. We have one more question from Chamberlain. If can share some compliance issues in the submission of XML manifest. Again, the question is, how do we submit manifest? When we start ASYCUDA, we have a procedure in place to say when manifest gets a legal status. Is it at the stored status or is it at registered status? So the compliance varies from country to country based on the customs policy or the law. So what I would say for Chamberlain here, the XML manifest is just a means to avoid you typing the manifest data in ASYCUDA. Rest of the procedure of handling manifest including modification, penalties, cancellations, are same as it was as it has been implemented when you are capturing it. You are typing the data into the system. So XML actually doesn't make any difference to that process. Thank you. We can have one more question. I think we are almost close to the session. If you have, okay, I have seen the XML structure for do groups. Do we have this? Me. Oh, we have one question from Cooks. I have seen the XML structure for D group page. Do you have this? Yes, the structure for D group page, we have it. We have two schema files. One is for XML Manifest. Another one is for D group page. As you were shown by Rizwan, we can share the D group page schema with you. Me. Thank you. Rizwan.
Thank you, Rajesh. So I think we don't have time now. So, but I was talking about the D group page schema. We can send it to the team later on. But I can show, if they want, I can show it now very quickly.
I think we should share the schema later. I think given the time constraint now, we can share it with me or send it to me or everyone in the part here. We have a PNG customs. PNG customs, please go ahead.
Just to share our experience, sorry, this is Clement Barco from ASYCUDA team. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Just our experience, well, we're actually using XML integration. I believe you all already know. And well, it's going around 4 years. Mostly we have it from shipping agents. We have, I mean, from sea freight, they're using XML integration. And from air freight, they like Stanley, DHL is doing the group patch. So we have some new players coming on board, which they're very interested in. So we're actually selling it to them, and we're looking to have more coming on board. And like most have said, yeah, of course, it's actually eliminates human error, well, and faster. It's not time consuming. I believe, yeah, it's a good initiative and way forward. And of course, we'll be trying selling it to our airline staff as well. I mean, airline counterparts. Thank you. Thank you.
Rajesh, you're muted. Rajesh is still muted.
Thank you, Dhanushki. Thank you, PNG Customs, for sharing your experience. What I was saying is, automation is not one stop. It doesn't happen at once. Actually, what we have experienced with ASYCUDA is it is a series of events that happens at different times. Given that in customs we have multiple stakeholders participating in the trade process, everyone is not ready at the same time. Some of them join do the XML part at the very beginning of the project, and then you see some of them coming and joining the program later. So it's okay as long as we keep improving, and I think digitalization is in demand these days. So everyone is continuously improving and upgrading to the trend. Stanley, you want to say something before we finish?
Thank you, Rajesh. Just quickly, and thank you again for the webinar. Just since I think one way to get things moving is, if we have, like I think Tay mentioned, there's all the shipping agents, it's the same ones operate around the region, right? So if most of them come on, we start getting them on board to XML integration, then that can be shared with other countries because a few of us using ASYCUDA. So let's just keep pushing that, and then hopefully we'll have a few on board. Thank you.
Yes, I think as Tay rightly mentioned, the NPDL from Fiji, I think they have approached many of you because they contacted us earlier this year, and then we have advised them to contact you and then start working on the development of the XML file. So that's the path to automation. Thank you everyone for joining us today, and we will be posting more seminars in coming week.